Have you been to Madrid, or more specifically, Parque del Retiro? Come enjoy a few sights and tips from our time there as we continued our tour in Europe, this time in Madrid, Spain. Watch out for the birds. Day one in Madrid was a rainy one. I was reminded of a line from an old movie called My Fair Lady, where the star continues to say the rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain. And if that's a true statement, then we were clearly in the plains that day. But we didn't let that stop us as we made our way through the park. As soon as we walked in, we felt as though we had gotten transported to Alice in Wonderland, with the chessboard patterns all across the paths, the green archways, birds of all kinds, peacocks specifically, along with various cats, greeted us. I could only imagine how picturesque this park would be in the springtime, with the flowers blooming overhead over many of the archways as we kind of made our way through. The park is also home to several iconic attractions within Madrid. One of the more unique things that we came across in the park was this elf sitting on top of what we later found out was an old bear cave, playing a flute. Back in the 18th century, King Philip V would stroll through the area, and rumor had it that there was an elf that would come through and he would change the way the flowers looked and decorative details around the lake, so that each time King Philip would come through, he would have a unique experience. The rumor has it that many young lovers would go through the park and they would see the elf. And of course, as this legend spread and began to build, eventually they erected a statue for him in 1985. So this is one of the many unique little things that you would find throughout the park. The first that we came to, and really what brought me over that direction to begin with, was called the Crystal Palace. Now, I was undergoing renovation during this time, but I was still able to get close enough for some great views, and especially across the pond that was out in front as well. But before we knew it, it was day two, and we were heading back to the park. This time, however, the sun was out, the birds were chirping, live music was being played, and the park came alive with ones enjoying what really turned out to be a beautiful sunny day in late September. We definitely had to take advantage and come back to see the Crystal Palace in all its glory with the sun beaming down through it. There was even a path along the side with sort of a cave area that you could sit in and enjoy the nice breeze and the pond and the Crystal Palace. One suggestion I would make is to grab yourself a well-charged, can't stress that enough, well-charged scooter, such as Lime. This really helped us enjoy the park and to get around to see everything. One word of caution while you're riding through, it's not just the people you have to look out for. Occasionally there are 2 or 3 steps that can just pop up out of nowhere if you're not paying attention, so be mindful of that. Also, you're not able to leave those the scooters lying around just anywhere when you're finished. So if the battery dies, you have to push it out to a specific location. So just be mindful of that as you make your way around. Definitely do not envy the gardener for the upkeep of this park. Here it is, very late September, and things are still being kept up, prepped for the winter and spring, and it still was amazing and gorgeous. Another one of the more memorable areas of the park was near the Great Pond, and it's close to the center of the park. This is definitely a place to see anytime, but especially on a bright sunny day such as this one. You could even get out there in the middle of it on a rowboat with that special someone, even if that special someone is just yourself. We did get a kick out of watching this one couple in a boat who initially appeared to be having some real, let's say, difficulty. But in the end, as with so many things in life, it was all a matter of perspective. Once each switched sides and saw things from the other direction, all was well, and they paddled away happy with smiles. It was not hard to do so on what had been a gorgeous day at the Great Pond. There are even some things for the kids, or kids at heart in our case, as there were ones dressed as various animals and you could take pictures all throughout the park. Now, if you do that, I will say make sure that you do tip them well, as that's how they're making their money. So be sure to be generous, as standing in a hot costume all day could not be a lot of fun if you really think about it. Soon after, we were off to our next adventure in Madrid and other parts of Europe. If you haven't yet, please take a look at the other videos from Madrid and the other parts of Europe as well. If you have enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment in. Those really help us a lot. Thank you so much, and again, appreciate you for watching.